Did you see the Quilter Nations series? Week 2 was absolutely wild, especially that moment in the All Blacks versus Scotland game. Cam Roigard scored a try in the first few minutes, but it was the setup by Josh Lord that got everyone talking. It looked like he just picked the ball from the base of a rock and ran, which left a lot of fans scratching their heads and shouting at their screens. Was that even legal? What made it even more confusing was a game just before that, with Japan. Their tight head, Shuhei Takeuchi, tried a move that looked almost identical. He grabbed the ball from what seemed to be a rock, but boom, the referee, Gianluca Necchi, blew the whistle and penalized him. So, what gives? Why was one play a brilliant try and the other an illegal move? Naturally, the internet exploded with conspiracy theories. Everyone was saying the refs have favorites and that bigger teams get away with more. It's a classic debate, right? Is there really one rule for the All Blacks and another for everyone else? Well, before we all grab our pitchforks, legendary former referee Nigel Owens stepped in to clear things up on World Rugby's Whistle Watch. And his explanation is actually pretty simple and makes a lot of sense. It all comes down to one tiny, but crucial, detail: the definition of a rock. Let's break down the Japan incident first. Nigel explained that in that situation, a ruck had definitely formed. A ruck happens when at least one player from each team is in contact over the ball on the ground. When Takeuchi, the Japanese player, reached in, he was bound into that ruck. The law is crystal clear. You cannot play the ball with your hands when you are part of a ruck. To legally pick up that ball, he would have had to completely detach himself from the ruck first. By detaching, he would signal that the ruck is over. Since he didn't do that, and just put his hands in to grab the ball while still bound, it was a penalty. Simple as that. No ifs, ands, or buts. Now, let's look at the All Blacks try, the one that caused all the drama. Here's the key difference, and it's what most of us missed. At that moment, it wasn't a ruck. For it to be a ruck, you need players from both teams bound over the ball. But in this case, there were no Scottish players on their feet, bound onto the New Zealand player over the ball. So, legally speaking, a ruck had not formed. So what was it then? It was just a tackle situation. Since there was no ruck, the law about not using your hands in a ruck doesn't apply. Josh Lord wasn't picking the ball up from a ruck. He was picking it up from a tackle. Nigel Owens pointed out that Lord had one leg back. The ball was in front of that leg, and he was completely onside. It was a perfectly legal move. He was entitled to pick up the ball and run, which he did, setting up that fantastic try. So, it wasn't a conspiracy. It wasn't biased refereeing. It was all about the subtle, technical definition of a ruck. One play had a ruck, the other didn't. It's these tiny details that make rugby such a complex and fascinating game to watch. It just goes to show how much is happening in every single phase of play, and how sharp these referees have to be to make the right call in a split second. It's a great reminder for all of us fans that sometimes what looks like a clear mistake or bias is actually just a deep, technical understanding of the rule book. So next time you see a call you don't agree with, Maybe there's a no-ruck situation you missed. What do you think? Did Nigel Owen's explanation clear it up for you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. And if you love deep dives into rugby rules like this, make sure to subscribe for more. See you next time.